Happy New Year. Can't even believe it's 2024. And I am going into a 33-day fast again. I'm on day 4, and days 1 through 3, I can be an absolute slug and a grump. So I didn't even want to try and record this until I got over the 3-day hump. That first 3 days is usually the hardest for me. And that's why I kind of giggle, because there's so many people who reflect when I do my extended fasts on their understanding of, autophagy, and that you only get the healing benefits the first couple of days, yada, 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 yada. I have not experienced that. I've been doing fasting since 2017. I've healed 5 autoimmune diseases. Lost all of the inflammation, all of my thyroid disease. You guys who followed me a long time have watched my weight and my body composition change. It's not from dieting, it is from fasting and living a very, very strict, non-processed, no sugar lifestyle. And I know that's not for everyone. However, I am one of the rare birds in the world who is actually allergic to sugar. And it's a curse, but it's also a blessing. A curse in that obviously I miss out on a lot of the goodies that you guys get to have, but a blessing because I can't have them. And therefore, it's easier to segue out of that area in my life. And why I go into such extended fasts, at least once a year, sometimes twice. I do it for multiple reasons. One is to do a full cellular reset in my body. All of the cells, all of the old, all of the non-serving flushes from the body when you do an extended fast. And the body starts to reproduce healing cells through what is known as autophagy, which is cellular healing. And it gets down into your organs, your cells, your adrenals, your lymphatics. If you have any types of growths, cancerous or otherwise, fasting cannot survive in that environment. So I have learned to do this since 2017. I fast every day on some level, whether it's just one meal a day or 18-6 fast. And there's a whole other video on my page. I'll link it into this one about how I got into this. So I'm not going to revisit all of that. You guys can go watch that other video if that's something that interests you. But today I wanted to see if anyone else is doing an extended fast that wants to join along with me. I love keeping myself accountable in these extended fasts, but I will say this, I don't go into it with the mindset I have to reach 33 days. I go in with a goal of that, but my body is the driving factor and the determining factor of whether I make it or not. How I support my body in this is a huge process. Eliminating toxic things while I am immersing myself in this spiritual journey of 33 days. And I call it a spiritual journey because it is. I'm in day 4, as I mentioned, and I already feel the euphoric effects. Days 1 through 3, I'm very tired. I may sleep a little bit more. I get a little grumpy as I'm detoxing. And that's even a person who's already a clean eater. So I can't imagine somebody who would try to do this and hasn't built up to it. What it does for me is it opens up a whole level of euphoria in my spiritual work. And it opens up a layer of clarity in my spiritual work. Meditations go deeper. My awareness expands wider. And I think it's because there's nothing toxic in my system. And anything that was in there that was toxic is draining away through this autophagy. Now, I don't want to be TMI here. Too much information for those who aren't in the States is TMI. However, what I still find fascinating after all these years of doing this is that I continue to have number 2s through the whole process of fasting, even though I'm not eating. I take on black coffee, water, tea, If I'm really struggling, I'll let myself sip on some bone broth, but normally after the first 3 days, I don't need that. I take my magnesium and my potassium to keep my electrolytes up so I don't get any cramps in the legs. I do my encapsulated beef liver capsules, and they are full of everything that I would need from a nutrient or supplement perspective, and that is it. Pink salt stays with me always. If my electrolytes seem low, I just put a little bit of that under my tongue and I let it absorb, and I'm rolling on again. Typically, if I feel hungry, if I'm getting that guttural thing in my stomach, it's not hunger, it's thirst. So I will drink water or I'll have some more black coffee. I'll take what I call lemon drop, which is some beautiful water with apple cider vinegar with Mother's and a little bit of baking soda to take the acidity off the apple cider vinegar. And I'll do a shot of that. It is a pre and probiotic. It's so good for your gut health. And that's it. And then I just roll. Like I said, the first 3 days are the hardest. And lots of interesting things happen over the 33 days. So for today, day 4, all day my nose has been draining clear, completely clear, almost like water just dripping out of my nose. And I know that's my sinuses where they used to have pluggage, and that pluggage has gone away on its own. And now just the natural process of draining is happening. My skin, after all the weight loss and everything, I will not have surgery. I will not do Botox. I do not do fillers. I do natural skin treatments. And I recently had micro needling done. So there's loose skin that I'm still working on trying to have it reabsorb. And the body is fascinating. It does this naturally. Because skin is a protein. So if you're not feeding your body knows to go and feed off of that which it no longer needs. Tightening of the skin. People who have lost the amount of weight that I've lost typically have to have some kind of skin reduction surgery, and I haven't. Of course, there's areas on my body, like anyone, that I look at and I say, gosh, I'd love this to be different. And then I love that. And I say, I'm sorry that I said that because you're beautiful and you're perfect. And if you're sagging a little bit there, that's okay. And if you're creping, you're getting crepey or you're getting wrinkly, aging is a beautiful part of this process. And all I wish to do is to age with grace. I'm not trying to be younger than I am, but I do think that we can age with grace, and that's part of this. But for me, it's less about the visible physical pieces. I want to share those because I know people appreciate that. But for me, it's more about the spiritual clarity and the openness and the deepening of the relationship with myself and this bigger thing that we call God. And I get that with extended fasting. So I'm on day 4 of a 33-day fast. If you want to jump in with me, even if you're just doing a day here and there, come jump in with me, share your journey, and don't try to do more than you can do. Start small, build up to this. Like I said, I'll put my original video in the description of this one that talked to you about how I started small and why I continue to do this. This is a part of my life that will never go away. To the last breath I take, I will be a faster. I love it so much. I get so much from it. And healing your body, loving your body, being so good and, serving to this vessel that gets to experience all of this. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? So if this is something you're interested in, if you're going through a hard time, if you have anxiety or depression, if you're dealing with health issues, there's so many things that fasting can help with. Now, I'm not about being a fasting coach. I share my journey and I put free stuff out there like I do with other things, but I'm not trying to be a teacher. I'm not selling menus. I don't want to get your texts at midnight saying, Kelly, I'm going to go eat the Twinkies. Stop me. No. Just like I say with all my videos, this is a self-driven process. If this interests you, you've got to navigate to your own central set of willpowers to get through this. But I am happy to walk alongside you as I'm doing it now myself in the new year. I hope that helps. I appreciate all of my fasting cheerleaders out there and all of the spiritual cheerleaders out there. And I just hope that this invigorates someone who's contemplating maybe doing some fasting this year. Even if you just start with 1 meal a day or an 18-6 window, and you have your black coffee and your water, and you do your electrolytes and you take care of yourself, eventually you can keep opening your window until you get to where you're extending and extending and extending further and further into this. The benefits, I cannot list them all. There are so many. I just get blown away every time I do it. There's some new thing that comes into my fasting experience. So I'm going to share it like I do when I do the extended ones. I'll probably do snippets and whimsies, and you guys can follow along if you'd like. And if you don't, and this isn't your jam, then let it pass you by. Wishing you the most amazing new year, whatever you have going on. This is a big year, so much coming, so many blessings, so many doors opening. Be open to yourself for it and be loving to your body, whatever that looks like for you. Much love. Till next time.